Morning. Welcome to Threads of Life Gallery and the new way in which we're using it while we remain closed during this time. We're using our walls to be able to photograph textiles that you can look and see how they work within your own home and hopefully purchase from the online gallery, which has been growing, and we're really grateful to all of you for supporting that. I thought today that we should go a little further up to the north area and talk about the textiles from Kalimantan. And I have only in stock right now these women's skirts. So this is what we call a bidang. This, when it's decorated, is what we call a tating. And the tating refers to the beautiful sound of the bells, which are applied so that during dance, like so many places in Timor where bells are applied, you have the sound of the bells while the feet are stamping in time to the music. The shells are really beautiful in the way that they decorate this. And this is worn generally in the back of the body by a woman. And the way that the threads are all different colors looks very much to me like a spine. You see it here as well. So they have some that's in black and the red, the yellow, black, red, yellow. Coming back to our same theme that we've talked about in other discussions about this continual use of black, red, and yellow or white. The common thread of textiles that are woven in this archipelago. The similarity of the designs in this textile, the motif here on this end and the motif here on this end, is what they call a sandung, or it is a place of offering. So very much like in Bali, where we have the pelangkiran, where we make them offerings every morning to the spirits that care for the space. This would be the same representative in Kalimantan, the sandung that is in front of the traditional house. And traditional houses are not one house or multiple houses in Kalimantan, but it is a longhouse. And the longhouse you can really think of more as a village. So there's relationships within each small room in the house. Those are like the individual rooms or families. But the place operates more as a village rather than as family units. So families are in individual space within the longhouse, and the whole longhouse functions as a village. The other thing that's interesting about these textiles is, again, William last week talked about, and in the newsletter talked about the borders, the boundaries. And here you have this motif that is bounding the center field, and the same thing with the boundary of this and the center field. So here you might have on these boundaries, they would use motifs like bamboo or rattan, which is, they consider to be, it's a thorny plant, climbs a tree, very protective. You can't get near it without getting caught by the thorns. It's also incredibly regenerative. It grows very quickly. So those are the kind of images that they would normally put on a boundary or on the outside of a cloth. The other one they might use, other than that as a boundary, is they might use leeches. So leeches are often found in the textiles. And again, yeah, we have a real aversion to the leech, but the leech is pretty amazing in that it certainly requires the blood of its predator or the prey, but it then will fall off and really doesn't do any harm. But again, it's very protective. You think of the leech as avoidance, and that again is why you create boundaries that keep people in the spaces, or keep motifs in the spaces that they belong to. So the exciting thing, we just have these two women's cloths, but we have two new textiles coming from our weavers in Kalimantan. I'm really excited because with the online sales in this last month, I think we can actually purchase these two textiles and bring them to you online. So we're finally being able to step out of our own kind of survival mode, and this is only due to these online sales and starting to get back to buy a little bit from the community, keeping our own our own business safe and the people that we're trying to take care of first, which is our staff, now being able to, I hope, reach out into the community. The other thing that you see here are these incredibly beautiful baskets that are also made in Kalimantan. Motifs here and motifs here actually come from a different kind of inspiration. So motifs here are dreamed and brought down through these dreams to what then a person would be able to ikat and tie. Often when they're ikatting something that would be a very powerful motif, like a crocodile motif in mostly the bigger pieces, the puas, the crocodile motif would be there, but you would also want to put a little bit of a smaller fish or some frogs, as though you're feeding the motif as you go along, and that creates an element of, again, protection, so that in no way does that crocodile motif end up hurting you in this world, in this dimension. The baskets, on the other hand, are almost all related to plant life. So here we see this motif here is this wonderful young bamboo motif. And I love, again, as it implies that out of old growth comes new growth, and something very much that we need right now. In the making of this, when you look at it, I first looked at this with the red and I thought, ooh, garish, that red, until I actually saw how it was made, and it was stunning how it's made. So this is actually all made out of bamboo, woven bamboo, but it's a sleeve that's over an inside, which is actually a grass material, not bamboo. So the sleeve, the colorful sleeve, is actually woven onto your base. And in order to get this red color, they will go into the forest and collect the berries from a rattan. And it's a specific rattan, not all have the same berry. The berry is boiled down, and the sap, or the we call gata, the sticky part, the sap of the plant, comes up to the surface, and that's skimmed off of the boiling vat, and then it's saved. When they want to do this red dye that you can see on these other pieces as well, they would take the bamboo before it's been split into these tiny little pieces and pour boiling water into the whole system of the bamboo, into all the different sections which they've opened up, and then begin to rub this red sap onto the outer layer of the bamboo, and it absorbs in and becomes this absolutely stunning color. Here we have the bamboo shoots again with the red. Then they've got to strip back all of the inner layers of the bamboo to get only these outer layers that have applied color. And all the inner layers are all considered waste. They're not used. Of course, it goes into gardens and it's used as fertilizer. Then the woman is able to start to weave. The black right now is used from soot from kerosenes and has been for many years, but it also in the past has been rambutan and mud dye. So when we ask for these to be delivered, we often now, these are seed baskets. So these are what people would take to the field and be able to pull the seed that's been stored in the house and begin to plant in their fields. So these lovely seed baskets, they come stacking. And this textile here, or this basket here, the taller one, would be used for saving something. Some of the very tall ones is actually what you would take and roll this textile up to be able to put into the house and save for when it's going to be needed.